You've been sitting on the couch all day, you have a desk job, you've been sitting down doing a lot of work, and you feel tight in the hips. You want to run, you don't feel like your runs are the same anymore because you just feel bound up. You're sitting a lot more, your running form's a little bit off. I'm squatting in the gym, and my squats, I'm not going down as deep to depth anymore. I just feel really tight in the hips. My name is Mark Nieves, and this is Space Center Fitness. Today we're going to be talking about the hips, talking about 3 essential exercises that I think everybody can do, combating those long periods of sitting and getting those glutes to be activated. Let's look at some drills, focusing on the main muscles that help maintain the integrity of the hip, and let's stretch those out and let's figure out how and why, if you implement these into your everyday routine, your lifts, your walking, your mobility will become better. Your hip flexors and your glutes, those are very effective when you're sitting for long periods of time. Let's fix that, okay? We're gonna get into a half kneel position. If you're not comfortable in this position, you feel very unstable, grab a chair, grab a table. If you have a wooden dowel somewhere laying around, maybe less likely. Figure out what works for you, help keep you safe and keep it stable so you can perform this mobility drill safely. I'm going to use my Pro Bar here. If you guys are unfamiliar with what Pro Bar is, Pro Bar mobility, really awesome exercise modality. Very safe, easy to do, doesn't require a lot of weight. I'll have their link down in the description down below. Check them out, see what they're all about. Half kneel, hip flexor stretch. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to be nice and tall, chest up, make sure my hips are tucked underneath. What I mean by that is do not arch your low back. See here, arch back, no good. Tuck our hips underneath, get your core nice and tight. I'm going to sink off my back knee here, squeeze my glute. And when I squeeze my glute, I'm already going to feel a big stretch. Stretch is going to be the name of the game. You want a big stretch in your hip flexors and in your quads. Let's squeeze that glute, prep the body for the exercise. Now, I'm going to get the motion going. I'm going to sink my weight off my back knee onto my front leg, sinking forward. And as I sink forward, I'm driving this hip down towards the ground. And I should feel a nice big stretch there. I'm going to be breathing into my nose, out through my mouth. If that feels too much, you can oscillate this motion back and forth. Come back out to starting position. Back forward. Nice stretch for a little bit. Come back out. This variation is beneficial if you can't hold that stretch for too long because it's too unbearable. A lot of you might have really tight hips, might not be able to hold the stretch for too long, and that's okay. But if you want to really get the benefit of the stretch, you can just find that sweet spot where it's not too unbearable to hold it. Okay? In through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay? Come on out of that, like so. We all have 2 hips. At least I think we do. So let's switch legs here. Okay, and this is where that table, the wooden dowel, maybe you have a Pro Bar too, awesome, great exercise modality, chair, table, whatever it is, hold on to it so you guys can switch legs. Okay, I'm gonna get good position, chest up, I'm gonna feel back here, my glutes are on, I already feel that stretch in front of my hip, this is awesome. Okay, lean forward, just like so, driving the hip into the ground, squeezing my glutes, nice and tall. Breathe, relax, this is going to feel good. If you have that desk job, you do work from home, you're in a chair a lot, this is going to be an awesome mobility drill for you. If you watched my last video, we did the glute bridge. That's also a hip mobility drill. Get those glutes fired up, opening up those hips. If you like that, this drill is going to be even better for you. You can use the glute bridge and this half kneel stretch for your hip flexors. Your body's going to love you. Okay guys, this is the half kneel stretch. Let's go on to mobility drill number 2. Okay guys, so the mobility drill that we're going to be doing here is going to be focusing on those inner thigh muscles, or some of you might know them as the adductors. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get on all fours here, and I have a mat, so I'm going to use my mat as a measurement. And what I mean by that is I'm going to place my knees just outside of the mat here. Okay, I'm going to get into a frog position. This is called frog's pose. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to really spread my legs out and get my knees nice and wide, just like you're getting a wide base for a squat. And what I'm going to do, I'm pushing the ground away, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, and I'm going to sit back, push my butt back towards my feet. And a lot of this might be very hard for some of you guys because you might be really tight in the groin area, when those inner thigh muscles might be really tight. So you might want to start up nice and forward, far forward. See how my hips are probably far away from my knees, and slowly, as you get comfortable with it, put your butt towards your feet more and more each time you oscillate back and forth. Find out what's tolerable. Do what feels good. You do not have to go all the way back like I am here. Some might be more mobile than others. Some might be a little bit more tighter than others, and that's okay. That's why we're working on this drill. And you guys can probably hear me breathing my nose out of my mouth. That's because this is tough. My hips are very tight sometimes, and this is a drill that I like to do religiously. Okay, and how you can kind of exacerbate the stretch is, I don't know if you guys can see my feet, but I'm going to pull my toes towards my shins, and now I really feel that. Inside of your legs. Another way this could be beneficial for you, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this cue before, but when you squat, push your knees outwards. As you can see in this pose, your knees are out. This might help you even in the gym. If you go back to the last video when I demonstrated the body weight squat and you're pushing your knees out, getting those glutes turned on, this exercise here can, in a weird way, help you push your knees out, and help, maybe that can translate to your squats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my knees. I'm going to kind of get into a crisscross Indian style, feet together, and then I'm going to choose one leg and I'm going to kick it back. Okay, now I have my one leg out in front of me, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a simple variation of this, is I'm going to just lean forward. I'm going to keep my hands on the ground first, okay, and I'm going to lean my body forward over my leg. And then if I want a deeper stretch, I'm going to fall onto the ground with my arms, and then as to make it better, I'm going to walk my arms out. And I'm going to feel really big stretch in my left glute here. Whatever leg is in front, that's the glute that you want to be stretching. If you feel anything anywhere else, come back up. You're not doing the stretch correctly. If I want to make it very hard, I'm going to come up onto my toe here. Now I'm up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of sit my butt back. I'm going to force my butt back this way. Now I'm going away from my leg instead of falling over it. Sinking back. Deep breath is going to help you relax. Your body's going to want to guard against this. Okay, you're doing this and you're like, Mark, I'm still not getting that stretch in my glute. I don't think I'm going to do this correctly. Hold tight, I'm going to get another variation for you. Okay, so you're on the ground and you're like, I'm not really feeling this stretch. I don't really think I'm doing it correctly. I talked about how these drills can translate better to like exercises like a squat. So with the exercise like the pigeon pose that we just did to stretch out our glutes, let's implement an actual motion to where increased hip mobility can actually benefit your lips. So I'm going to use like this little stool-like thing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cross my feet over, just like the position on the ground. I'm resting the side of my foot onto the box here, or the little stool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a mini squat. I'm going to sink down. And you're like, Mark, that's crazy. How can I do this? I'm on one leg. I have my leg crossed on something. Well, guess what? Just like we did the half kneel stretch earlier, you had a chair or a table nearby. Here, I'm going to grab my Pro Bar. This is going to help add some added stability to this exercise. I'm here. Have my leg, again, ankle, side of the foot, lower part of the leg on the stool, and I'm going to perform a mini squat. And I'm going to lean over as I perform that squat. I'm still performing the motion of the squat. My hips are going back. I'm going down. Pushing this into the ground, making sure I have them as strong and stiff as possible in my body so I can perform the exercise or the mobility drill safely. I'm sitting down and I really feel this on the right side. So I did the pigeon pose on the floor with the left side. Now I'm performing the pigeon squat on the right side. Really opening up your hips. And why this is important, okay, a little demonstration for you. The hips, they rotate this way. And if you do this exercise on your own or do this little test on your own, you might find that in one direction you might be tighter in the other. Okay, we got some external rotation, internal hips turning inside, hips turning outside, okay? Back and forth. That's a little self-test you could tell and say, hey, are my hips really tight? And if so, what direction can I benefit? So here, again, going over this one more time. Okay, external rotation, testing that out, getting the stretch in our glute muscles back there, maybe your piriformis. Okay, again, squat back, down, hold, come back up. Really important to breathe here. All right, guys, that's a little bit more advanced version of the stretch. Try it out. Make sure you have something around you that you can hold on to. If you do not feel comfortable doing this exercise, play around with it a little bit. Play around with your positioning. Do what feels good. So there you have it, guys. 3 exercises that will have you well on your way to improving your hip mobility and gaining range of motion in areas of need. Let's recap the 3 exercises we went over. We went over the half kneel stretch, which targets the hip flexors. We went over the frog's pose, which gets those harder reach areas in your inner thighs. And we went over the pigeon pose that helps target those deep tissues in your glutes. If you have any questions for me, drop them down in the comments below. There will be a link in the description to my Instagram. Please consider giving me a follow, shoot me a message. I would love to say hi to you guys. And always remember, guys, be strong, be courageous, stand firm in your faith. This is Mark Nieves, Faith Center Fitness.